I'd like to introduce myself. I'm Marc Fisher. I am the editor-in-chief of Stroke and have served in that position since 2010. I would like to give you a little bit of an overview of what is happening at the journal and some future directions. Just to give you some statistics, Stroke, I would say, is the leading journal in the cerebrovascular disease field in the world. In 2017, we received a little bit over 3,100 manuscripts, and we accepted slightly over 15% of the manuscripts that were submitted to us. We received manuscripts from all over the world. The United States is by far our leading country for submitting manuscripts, but number 2 is China, number 3 is Japan, number 4 is Germany, number 5 is Korea, South Korea. So as you can see, we are a international journal. This is also reflected by the membership of the editorial board. More than half of the people on our board are outside of North America, and more than 20% of the board members are female. Stroke is a very visible journal. We're number 2 in total citations of all diseases in the peripheral vascular disease area, and also number 2 in the clinical neurology area as well. One thing that most people don't really know about is the very large number of accesses of papers published in Stroke online. So in 2017, I think there were almost 11.5 million full article downloads of papers that were published in Stroke. So if you happen to get a paper that's accepted and it's of interest, many people will access it through their library sites or in other ways if they happen to have a subscription, etc. We're also visible on social media. We have a very active Twitter account and Facebook account with a large number of followers that's increasing each year. As far as things that are happening that are new at Stroke, in the last 6 months or so, we've started a new endeavor called Focused Updates. And so what this is about is that in one issue, we have 5 or 6 reviews that are invited, and they are focused on a particular topic. So for example, the first one that we did was in the October issue, and it focused on atrial fibrillation and stroke in various ways. We have one coming out very soon. I think it'll be the March issue. That'll be women in stroke. We have another one that'll be coming also quite soon on stem cells in stroke. And then we're in preparation of another focused update on pediatric stroke. One of the things that we've been trying to do recently is to engage younger members of the stroke community. So I mean people that are in training, such as residents, stroke fellows, and also people who are just beginning their careers, so early career stroke physicians and allied health people. So we've started an endeavor that we call Intersect, which is led by Mitch Elkin from Columbia. And we have 4 junior faculty from around the world that are helping him to produce 1 article a month that's electronically published that is specifically targeted at topics that are of interest to people in training or just beginning their careers. So I encourage any of you who see me who are at that stage to look online and to see if any of these articles will be helpful for you in your career development. We've also started another endeavor that's targeted at early career people, and that's what we are calling reviewer in training. So what we did was we reached out to all of the stroke fellows in the United States last June that were coming into their fellowships in July. And we also reached out to basic science people to nominate trainees in their labs, and also European colleagues. And we have almost 100 people that signed up for this. And so what we're asking them to do is to review a manuscript as an additional reviewer beyond the typical 2 or 3 more senior reviewers that are handling the review of this paper. And so one trainee reviewer looks at the manuscript, provides a review, and then the editor who invited them to do the review provides feedback to the reviewer in training, a few sentences about the positives and perhaps the negatives of their reviews. If the senior person handling the manuscript feels that the review is of reasonable quality, it's also included in the material that is sent back to the authors. And the reviewer in training will get to look at the reviews that were provided by the other senior reviewers, which is a very good way to learn how your review and approach stacked up compared to people who've had more experience. So far, this seems to be going pretty well. We're trying to increase the number of reviews that we're asking for reviewers in training to do. And the plan is that at the end of June, the people who are in training who perform reasonably well will then move on and be added to the list of reviewers that we tap into when we're trying to find people to help us. And we'll recruit a whole nother group that's beginning their fellowships or research training. So those are some of the things that we're doing for early career people. We've also started something called the TOP guidelines. That's transparency, organization, and performance metrics. So if you submit a paper to Stroke that has research data in it or clinical research material, you're asked in our instructions for authors to provide in the beginning of the methods section how readers can access the original data and statistical evaluation. And this goes along with what many other journals are now requiring to increase transparency and improve reproducibility of science that the journals are publishing. So we and the other AHA journals feel this is important, and it's started. So if you submit a paper, please pay careful attention to the instructions for authors where details are provided about what we're asking you to put into your manuscript. It's an exciting time in the stroke field. There's a lot going on. There are many other people that are being interviewed during this conference here in Los Angeles that will provide you updates about some of the breaking trial news and their interpretation of it. So I won't go into it in detail, but I will point out to you that at the journal, we are committed to providing our readers with as much top-line, scientifically valid content as possible, and also providing interpretation of the results of trials and how they might impact on clinical practice as well as future research. So I thank you for your attention.